Hello and welcome to the Steed Cycles podcast. We're live in front of an audience here at Steed Cycles with none other than Jackson Goldstone. So first off, thank you to Santa Cruz for making this happen, for everyone at Steed Cycles who brought us together, particularly to Kim Steed who had this idea. It's such a pleasure and an honor to sit down with you, Jackson. So thank you for taking time out of your training. Thank you for making the trip down to the city. And thank you all for being here, for packing this house with so much energy. That's massive. I'll start by acknowledging that we are living, working, and playing on the territory of the Squamish, Musqueam, and Tsleil-Waututh people. For thousands of years before colonization, this land, the ocean, and the forests were stewarded by these first people for longer than we'll ever know, and we are grateful guests here. So let's dig in. Jackson.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm good. Yeah, really good. Stoked to be here.
It's been a wild ride, a wild couple of years following your trajectory in the sport, in life. I kind of think it like from outside, it's been a wave, right? Like big waves, big highs, big winds, big crashes.
Changes. Yeah.
How are you riding that wave right now?
Yeah, I think I'm definitely on the comeback from a low part of the wave. I had that knee injury that's kind of taken me out for the last. Pretty much it's going to be a year. So my first race back is going to be the one that I crashed at, Red Bull Hardline. So you could call it a full year off. But yeah, we're back healthy from that injury and yeah, definitely trending in the right direction.
Yeah, it's a significant amount of time to step back from something that you take so seriously, that you pour your heart into. But what has that injury taught you about yourself?
Yeah, I mean, it went by fast and long at the same time, the whole injury, but I think it definitely, kind of almost like gave me the love for the sport again, kind of fired me back up to train even harder and learn even more and do more stuff. Like when you take that big of a break off it, you kind of realize how much you miss it. So, yeah.
Was there a mental roller coaster throughout this year? Like, how do you ride that wave?
I want to say that the mental was pretty strong, but there's definitely, times where I'm, looking out, sunny day, all my friends are going riding, and then I'm just, stuck at home. So, there was lots of that, but we're past that, and it's in the back of my head now, so I'm not thinking about it.
We're past that. So what are you thinking about then? What is important to you right now?
I mean, I would say kind of since, I've been back on the bike full time, it's been a lot of film projects, a lot of remembering how to ride again. As funny as it sounds, I definitely feel like you lose a lot of those skills. So just trying to relearn, everything in the past, and a lot of filming, a lot of riding, and then just flat out training for next year as well. So it's been pretty fun. We've had some good weather, so I've gotten lots done in the last little bit.
Good work. Yeah, it takes taking advantage of those windows on the coast in the winter. Just kind of I feel like the reason we're here tonight, what I would like to do is really get to know you. I think there's a real opportunity to kind of go beyond the Jackson that we all have these stories and ideas in our head of who you are. So I guess my question is who are you? If mountain biking never happened for you, if you removed that from the picture, what's left behind?
Not much. No, I mean, I would say mountain biking is such a big part of my life that I do actually not have that much going on outside of it because, I wake up every day, doing something that involves riding. So, I definitely wouldn't be doing much. I haven't even thought of that as a question on what I would do. Mm-hmm. I'd probably play a lot more golf, but...
Golf is on right now.
Yeah.
So archery's out.
Yeah.
Bailey said you used to play the guitar. That's out.
Yeah.
DJing, how's that fitting into this?
That one's still going strong, actually. That's one of my other... Yeah. That was a good pickup, and I learned that through the whole injury because that was something I could do. So.
So what are you spinning?
That's still going strong.
What kind of music are you enjoying spinning the most for people? Because you've had a few gigs too.
Yeah, I've done a few little events here and there. I played one event at Crankworks, and then I did the Monsonan after party. I had an hour-long set there, and that was really cool. I had a full, probably 200 people there all dancing, so that was really cool. But basically one of my friends gave me a USB with 12,000 songs on it, so I've kind of just been using his songs. It's a lot of housey stuff and remixes and a bunch of I mean, there's so many songs on there that, it's unlimited, but that's
So
something I've been doing.
what's it like spinning in front of a crowd of like 200? Is there a different nerve that you tap into or excitement, or is it similar to what you've been through in the past?
I don't know. I think just the feeling of, getting to play the music you want to play, and then, seeing everyone in the crowd, like it, and then, trying to nail the transitions and stuff. It's you think like I'm always like trying to like dance with the crowd and stuff like that, but it's actually like I'm trying to figure out and, not make mistakes the whole time, that it gets pretty stressful.
Have you ever flopped? Have you ever bombed?
I've made a few mistakes on live for sure. I usually try and correct them before anyone notices, but I'm nowhere near perfect.
Yeah. Being that like, you're fully embracing mountain biking, that is just, it's a part of your identity. It is kind of, who you are a bit. There's all this part of it that we get to see, the fun stuff, the edits, the racing results, these interviews. But I imagine there's kind of like a nitty-gritty part behind it too, where it's like contracts, taxes, like there's a job that you're doing. What is it like? How do you compartmentalize? How do you handle the not fun stuff? Who's signing the contracts?
Well, my parents are back there, and they I got a shout out to them because they helped me a lot through all of that stuff. So taxes and contracts and all that adult stuff that I'm still learning how to do is they've been helping me a lot with that. So
yeah. Are there other ways where, like, because it's your profession and your job and you're on a team, like, are there other ways you've professionalized, or things that ways you've grown as a professional?
I mean, yeah, I think I've definitely over, my first few years in the elite category now, and, I'm kind of an adult now. So over the last, I'd say 4 years is definitely, kind of coming quick as the results were coming quick, and then everything kind of ramped up a lot. So it definitely took time getting used to it, but I mean, I think it's awesome.
Cool. Yeah, you're able to enjoy that part of it.
Yeah.
I mean, any other job you'd have to do that too. So you'd have to show up on time.
Exactly. Yeah. I got a lucky one though. I can show up whenever.
So I mean, it's nice that we're sitting down at, ahead of the season and at the beginning of the year. What are you leaving behind in 2024? What are you letting go of, and what are you taking with you into 2025?
Oof, tough question. I think injuries are definitely in the past. I'm really hoping for an injury-free season. It's knock on wood wherever it is, but I think that's definitely something I'm ready to get done with, and I feel like I'm in a good place, and I know what I need to do to prevent those things. So. I'd say that's something I'm leaving, something I'm bringing. I don't know, actually. Excitement, let's say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really excited going into this year.
That.
Yeah.
It's neat to hear you find a spark again, that even you were, if you lose a spark, like, it makes me feel not so bad about, I've lost the spark here and there, so thank you for sharing that. Do you feel like in choosing racing, in choosing mountain biking, in fully embodying like this part of your life, have you sacrificed or given anything up?
I mean, that's such a hard question again, because like all my days is biking and stuff, so I wouldn't say I've sacrificed much because there wasn't much there to start, outside of my riding career and stuff like that. But I mean, I think I've just learned so much from it that it's just become a part of me.
Okay, so just on the same sort of, just since we're talking about the season, we know you're with the Syndicate still. That's pretty exciting. You've got this level of job security that a lot of riders don't get to indulge in. How's that feeling? And especially in a season where we're seeing teams struggle, teams close down, big team changes. How does it feel to lose Manar, to Norco? Like, what's going on with everything ahead of the roster for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think... I'm super, super thankful in the Syndicate for everything they do. I know Seb's back there. He's a big part of that. Big up, Seb. But yeah, I think, I'm so happy to be on the team, and it's exactly where I wanted to be. And I think it's one of the pinnacle teams in my opinion. I think it's the best, but you can agree otherwise.
I'll agree. Whatever.
But yeah, I mean, I think, with the two new riders coming on, Ellie and Felix, it's, brought some fresh blood, and I think we're, as a team, we're in a really, really good place right now. And with the team camps that we just went to in the past, we did one in Whistler, one in Portugal, and I feel like we're really ticking all the boxes. So I'm stoked.
The thing about teams is like they work really well when people find their role in their place on a team. I think, like, how do you see your role on this team, especially with the new kids coming in now?
I mean, my role is definitely I'm not the young guy anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not the junior, so there's good and bad from that.
Do you end up taking on a mentor role now? Like, are you starting to grow into that space?
Almost a little bit, I would say, for Felix. I feel like he's learning a lot from me, which I love, and I love, trying to teach everyone everything that I know and help out. But I think it's awesome.
I think it's cool because, I just imagine that you've had these insane mentors. Like, now you're working with Steve Pete. You've had Greg Menard. I mean, I could go on with, can't even guess who you're riding Prevost with tomorrow. Like, you've been surrounded by talent and support and mentorship.
For sure.
At a level, like, unmatched. So, like, is mentoring something you want to give back to the kids? Or, like, how do you picture that coming full circle and sharing that wisdom? Is that important?
Yeah, I mean, I love, teaching everyone as much as I can. I'm not going to be as big of a mentor as Steve would be right now, because I still got to focus on my race career, right? So I can't tell everyone too much stuff, but
he's gatekeeping.
Yeah. I got secrets. Don't worry. But yeah, no, I think I love passing on information, and some of these kids came up to me and asking for advice and stuff, and I think that's super cool. And I always try and give them my thoughts, but I still got to race myself.
Yeah, you got focus, man. And like, it's kind of, it's neat. I pick up on some humility in that, right? Like, you still have lots to learn too. You've got a life to live. And it strikes me that you've had these incredible mentors whose names we could drop all day long. But you've also had this big sister in your life who's been really supportive.
Where'd she go?
So supportive that Bailey was one of the first people to buy tickets to tonight. And I was like, honey, we were going to let you in anyway. It's what has that meant to you? How has Bailey inspired you? What's it like having a big sister in this sport? Yeah,
I mean, it's awesome. I think she's one of my best friends, I would say. We thankfully get along really well sometimes, but but yeah, no, I think it's so cool. Like, she is working for Corsa, so sorry, Steve.
Awkward.
Guys, but but yeah, I know I think it's awesome that she's involved in the sport. 2-time national champion is not an easy thing. I'm a 1-time national champion, so she's got me beat there. And then I think she's coming down to New Zealand with me, and we're going to be riding. And I think it's so cool to have that brother-sister relationship where you can ride together. So
yeah, I bet.
Looking forward to it.
That's really beautiful to hear. Thanks. It's really cool for a lot of us who've been watching downhill a long time, who are still really invested in that sport, to see a Canadian who is such a contender. And it reminds me personally of when Stevie started winning really big. Like, we invest, we put our hearts in it. We ask a lot of you guys. I would love to ask you if you could share some of your memories of what it was like in the few times that you got to ride and share time with Stevie.
Yeah, I mean, Stevie was such an amazing guy. I had most of my experiences with him when I was quite a lot younger, so I don't remember our exact conversations. But there is one time where I got to film a video with him with I think it was for Oakley at the time, and we did this video, got to ride together. It was my first time riding together, and I think we were at the top of Garbo. And we had to meet the filmers somewhere, and so we just dropped in, and that was the first time I was actually able to see World Cup pace. And so we just dropped into the trail, and then I think I was 14 or 15 at this time, still on a 24-inch, and I couldn't keep up for a few corners. He was gone. So that was the first kind of eye-opening moment for me. It was whoa, that's how fast they go, because you can't see it from the television.
You can't feel it.
Yeah, and that was really cool. And then actually, when that video came out, the launch date was the same exact date that I won Mont-Saint-Anne. So that was a pretty cool little story there, and it all linked up perfectly somehow.
Yeah. I think you've said in the past MSA is still kind of top track for you just because of what it is and the crowd and stuff. And, still true?
Oh yeah, definitely still true.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, Montana's my favorite.
You
I think
buzzing about this year then?
Oh yeah. I'm stoked. I was able to go this year and watch, sadly, and that was, it was obviously so cool to see that race. It was an amazing race, but gutted to miss it. But I'm really looking forward to this year.
Yeah, totally. So ahead of this interview, I realized that there's people out there who kind of were like, hey, where'd Jackson go after that period of your life where you were young and famous? And then there seemed to be this like period of your life where you were quiet for a while. And I was like, what do you mean Jackson disappeared? He was just at BC Cups and PNW Cups. He was just cranked like Fat Wednesdays. This was what your kind of list looked like back then. And it was neat for me to kind of hear that other people thought you disappeared, that you were like this man of mystery. And everyone's like, where'd Jackson go? So for the benefit of those who kind of just weren't at these local events and these BC events and got to see you kind of still racing through all that, like what were those years like when people think you went dark? What were you actually up to?
Yeah, I mean, those years were the years where I was still, pushing to become like a slopestyle athlete, because that was originally like what I wanted to do. It's always, I looked up to Brandon Semenak and all these slope guys, and when I was younger, that's kind of the path that I started going on. And I always raced, and I think, from when I was 13, I think that's when you first were allowed to start racing like BC Cups. There's younger categories now, I think, but like when you finally hit that age, it was like, okay, now I'm doing all these races. And so that's kind of like when I started racing and then learning that side of things. And then I was doing smaller stuff before, but it was really like kind of focusing on slopestyle, and I was doing all these trips down to like Woodward West with my parents, and I've been down there so many times. So I was doing a lot of trips to go train in the winter, and we catch a $50 Legion flight down there, and then get picked up by the airport and with a friend, or find a cheap rental car or something. And so yeah, we definitely found ways to make things work and to try and get me to all these cool events, and just to experience it at such a young age. I'm super lucky that my parents were risky enough to took the risk on me.
Yeah, were you guys, I guess, because I sort of imagine the Goldstones as this family unit, that's how I'd see you guys around at BC Cups and stuff. It was always just full support family everywhere you could be. And obviously that's been key for you and is still key for you. And like tell us about what it's like to sort of have, for lack of a better word, the privilege of an incredibly supportive family.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, it's my parents, they have bought 2 cars in Europe now. One of them exploded, but so they come out with me to the races for, I think Europe only lets them stay for 3 months. They want to try and figure out how to get more time in Europe. So if anyone knows, let us know.
Immigration lawyers.
Yeah,
we're gonna need some.
But yeah, I think it's so cool that my family comes out, and last year I wasn't even racing, but they still went to the races. So having that. Yeah. Them love the sport that much, as much as me almost, is I think so cool. And
you sure they don't love the sport more than you?
Well, I mean,
sure?
Yeah, I don't know.
It precedes you a little.
Yeah.
I kind of forgot what I was going to ask after that. Well, just kind of back on those days where it was you and the family reliably traveling mostly around North America and stuff. Were you were pushing for slopestyle, but were you sure you wanted to be a pro in general, or were you just still kind of I don't know, I could be a lawyer, a doctor, I don't know what else you become when you go to school.
I mean, I think from ever since I was young, I always wanted to make this work and always get better. I never really had a mindset of I want to do something else. So yeah, I mean, I kind of just kept riding, and I've thankfully never worked a day job, so that's pretty cool to say. And then I've just through my younger career, when I was younger, I was trying to do these slopestyle events, and then I was learning a lot of stuff, and I was going to Audi 9s, and I kind of got some ground in there, and then I kind of felt like I plateaued a little bit. Just struggled with riding a full-size bike, I would say, actually, at that time. Trying to do tricks on a 26-inch bike was pretty hard. So, that was kind of when, I was still racing at the time. I was doing both. I didn't really, know exactly what I wanted to do. And then, when first year junior rolled up, it was like, hey, I've got to give it a shot. And so gave it a shot and never really looked back from there. So
I think what is kind of neat for me, like when I think about the BC riding community, that the racing scene is such a big part of it. Crankworks is such a big part of it. And going down to PNW races is also kind of a part of what we get to be a part of here. Like we have this huge corridor to experience competition in. But for me, not to make this about me at all, I'm sorry, the coolest thing out of all of that was the people, like the community, the people at the races. I have friends that, like, it's been 20 years since we raced together, and we are so close. And I think about who you were coming up in that scene with, and like the people that were around you and on the same start list as you. And like I was looking through your old Roots and Rain, like all like just like way back to 2012 and 11 and stuff. And I'm looking at these names, and there's a lot of them that are still on the scene. And I'm wondering, like, are there still relationships there for you? How did those years really build the support and who you are and who you carry around with you now?
Yeah, I mean those races that I did when I was younger were I think super crucial. That's where you learn the most. When you're younger and you got to figure it out. It's something new, so you got to figure it out. And I think having like going to those races like Northwest Cups or BC Cups or anything, it's awesome to see, like, especially in the last few years, of how much they've grown too is awesome. And then, since I've been doing them for so long, watching them grow from when they were really small to now is also amazing to see. But yeah, I think those first, races with what I was doing when I was younger was, they're perfect. Like Northwest Cup, it's like not super hard track, but like just enough to like really, feel like it's a competitive race. And then, having all those other people, like you said, who still race today that, I was kind of aging up with is awesome. And, some of them I'm still best friends with today, like the Jewetts, for example, let's say, I've been racing with them pretty much my whole life, and, we're still hanging out every day, going to promote with them tomorrow. So, it's cool to see those, friendships still there.
Yeah, I love that. It's really cool, I think, for us as like observers of local sport, and then watching everyone grow and like level up. It's been pretty cool too. So how over time have you taken all that like external pressure in the world and everything everyone projects upon you, and like how do you handle that now? How has that changed since those days?
I mean, yeah, it's a hard question because obviously, things have changed so much. But in the end of the day, like I try to not think about it as much as I can, just to not let it bother me. Like I'm still, just going out to ride my bike and have fun and like, I'm going to race and do my job, but that's what I love. So I think of it as I'm lucky to be able to doing this. So the pressure, it definitely at a World Cup stage is a lot, and you got to deal with it. But I think of just riding my bike at the end of the day.
Nice, love to hear it. Just kind of on the same topic, like friendships, relationships, right? So it's cool to see like you guys age up together, level up together. But when it comes to like life now, like one of the great joys in life is just meeting new people, connecting with new people. Mm-hmm. But when you're as famous as you are and successful as you are, how do you kind of distinguish between people that are your real friends and people who are just kind of like caught up in some sort of celebrity worship thing?
I mean, yeah, I think I feel like I'm friendly to everyone. I hope that's the case. So I try to be friends with everyone. But I think it kind of just takes time to like, I've known all my, tight friends for so long. And then when you go to new races, you meet new people, you meet so many new people that, you end up having a really tight relationship with at least a few of them. So
it hasn't really changed for you. You don't have like a armor or guard up about like, I don't know what you're trying to get out of me. You feel open to people. That's pretty cool.
I try to make friends with everyone. Yeah.
Good, because we got a meet and greet after this, so good luck. We're throwing it in. I think it's kind of like, is there anything I haven't asked you about that's just like burning in your soul that you want to share with us, or, you know, topics we haven't really tapped into at this point?
I mean, you've got a lot of questions here. What else is on our questions page?
Like honestly, people were like, you're never going to get through all those questions. We did. We got
that was all of them. No way.
But I got a list of rapid fire questions here as a backup.
Fire.
So if you don't have anything burning in your soul, but I'm sure you do.
I guess we could talk about like kind of my next steps and like starting, you know, next few months and into the race season, I guess.
Yeah, let's
got
walk
a lot of
us
stuff
through
going
it.
on, so
we're gonna close our eyes and visualize your next steps together as a crowd.
Sure, yeah. Okay. Right. So Monday, actually, I'm headed to Queenstown, New Zealand. I'm gonna be able to spend, I think it's almost a month there total. So I've got 3 weeks before Hardline, and then those 3 weeks in Queenstown, I'm basically gonna be just, you know, full training. There's so much going on there right now, especially because it's their summer. Mm-hmm. So, you know, the days are long, you can get lots of stuff in, and that's kind of the main reason why I'm going is so, you know, I can wake up, I can go ride, I can, you know, have a nice lunch break, and then I can go to the gym, and then I can go hit the dirt jumps, and then, you know, or another day go ride downhill, and then there's a lake day happening or something. So, you know, I think there's so much happening down there, and then you're always just doing whatever. So I'm really stoked to be there for, I think 3 weeks is the first bit, and then that's basically building up into Hardline, which will be technically my first like proper race back. Is the one-up race that we did with the Squamish Sorka one it was a full race. I will say that was legit, but you know, this one's obviously a bit bigger than that. So. And it's where I hurt myself last year. So I'm really looking forward to going back to that. And then, we've got a team camp with the whole syndicate out in Queenstown after. So I go back. And then, I got more time in the sun. And then, it's pretty much from there on. I've got a few little video projects and stuff. But it's like full gas preparing for the season. I think we have another team camp probably in April. But I'm just going to be riding this thing as much as I can. And... training to beat Loic again.
Any like Dark Fest style, any fests going on this year? You're going to keep it race specific or?
As I look over at Seb, no, I'm just kidding. I don't have anything planned yet. I would love to make it out to one of those events, especially Dark Fest, because one of my best friends who I've met, you know, from racing you know, he has a lot to do with that event down there, so going there would be really fun. And I definitely on the bucket list at some point, that event. But as it stands, I mean, I'll probably do some like whip-off events at Crankworks. Maybe a speed and style, maybe. But I mean, the full focus for me this year is racing, since, you know, that's what I love the most. So. And we've got your gorgeous race bike behind us here. Can you tell us a bit about the paint job and your love for cars, and specifically the 944? Yeah, well, so when I got injured this year, they kind of were like, okay, we don't need to do like a world's bike. So we kind of had freedom to do like, you know, a custom one-off paint job. So I've got a old beat up Porsche 944 that I bought on Marketplace for like $5,000. And it's the same kind of burgundy color. And then, Santa Cruz, you know, they painted it up and put a whole bunch of little, you know, tweaks on it. And one side of the logos is silver, one side is black, because one side of the wheels was silver and one side of the wheels were black for a little bit. So there's just like a whole bunch of little, you know, kind of bits and bobs on it, like that kind of just tie into it being my little fun beater car. So I think, it turned out really sick. And then, you know, they've got that Porsche logo on the front and has my name on it. So I love it. It's like down to earth, but it's really cool. Yeah. I need to get one of those bike mounts and then like mount it on top or something. How do you not have one yet? I know. Someone get this man a bike mount. Fast. When you're not on the V10, what are you picking up right now? What bike are you spending most of your time on? I've been doing a lot of e-biking recently. And I know I know some people are gonna like that, and some people aren't gonna like that. But I mean, with on those rainy days, it's hard to be motivated sometimes to go out and properly pedal. So yeah, I've been riding the new Volo quite a bit.
Yeah. How's that
Been
feeling?
loving that thing.
Because I think
Yeah.
people have this perception like, oh, e-bike takes all the work out of it, but like, is that how have you found e-biking? It doesn't seem to take all the work out of it for me.
No, I think you just get more descending, and then you can still try as hard on the climb, just pushing. You're just going way faster. So, I like it, and that Volo, I really feel like I can, push the speed down and like actually get something out of it, and it feels, like it's working enough to relate to my downhill bike. So, it's been a big training tool.
When it comes to bikes, is there anything you kind of nerd out on it? Is it suspension? Is it like tire pressure? Like, do you get nerdy about your tech stuff?
I'm usually pretty like easy on bikes. Like I don't really, like I can pretty much ride anything and get away with it. But I mean, one thing I would say is like brakes. I do, really feel like I like having super sharp brakes, sharper than a lot of people. So, that's one thing. And then I'd say, that's kind of it that I'm really picky about.
What's it like working with Jordy at Fox when you're on the world track? Like when you come to him with can you set me up for this track? Or like, I'm experiencing this. Like I've really enjoyed the banter between you guys.
No, it's good. It's actually pretty easy because he usually doesn't tell me what he does. So I don't actually have questions for it, or I kind of just, roll in there and say, this is what I'm feeling, or, I'm getting bucked off this, or I need more support, or, whatever it may be. And he'll kind of just turn some knobs and then send me on my way. So it's pretty, it's super easy. And I love working with Jordy, and he's, such a big help for us at the World Cup.
He seems to have a real presence with you riders.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Last chance for anything we haven't covered, or, anything else specifically in that UCI season that's sticking out for you that you're looking forward to? Or anything, I guess too, like, again, for our audience who follows downhill, like, how are you feeling about the format?
I think I'm actually going to be stoked going into this year with the new format. I think the last chance qualifier idea is pretty good, because if you have a good qualifier, you don't have to do the semifinal. So I think it's going to probably change. You're not going to see some of the top guys. Like if someone were to have a flat, like if I were to have a flat in my quali run and then have a mistake in the next one, you don't make the final. There's no protection. So I think it is like it's going to have to keep us on our game. Even every single lap's got to have to be perfect now. In a race season. So. I think it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it, but I think there'll be some upsets for sure.
Yeah, it could be kind of neat. Do you think there'll be like a trickle-down effect of people get a chance to race the finals that hadn't before?
For sure, yeah, because, someone could, go onto a track and really like that track, get, going really good, get, feeling fast on it early, and then they have that good result. That puts them straight into the finals. So I think that's, that's cool and rewarding for the people who are, getting up to speed that quick. And I think that's something that I'm going to have to work on as well, as, really just being able to go that fast, fourth, fifth lap. So. Yeah.
And I haven't looked at the schedule, but I imagine, are we mostly in Europe again? How's that feel?
Yeah. I like the European races, and we've got a few new ones on the calendar. I think La Tuile. I've raced in EWS there in the past, actually, and it was some of the sickest riding ever. So I've seen some videos from that downhill track. I'm really looking forward to that one. And then, we've got a lot more races. So we've got 10 now instead of, I think, 7 or 8 last year. So, it's going to be good.
Amazing. I'm stoked. I'm stoked for the downhill season now. This is kicking it off. All right, I guess we'll get a time check, if I could, from Samuel. Fantastic. We'll do some rapid fires and move into questions from the audience, I think. Okay. Jackson Goldstone, are you ready for the rapid fire question round?
Okay, tell me the rules. So first thing on my mind kind of thing?
Yeah, I'm going to spit a question out. It'll probably be badly worded, and you have to do better than me and give me a nicely worded answer.
Okay, we'll try.
All right. Jackson Goldstone, what is your biggest fear?
Probably a plane crash. I don't know.
That's fair. Mine is still spiders. What is your smallest fear?
Smallest fear? Walking upstairs.
Yep. Danger wrong. I've tripped that way.
I need to be more rapid. I'm sorry. I need to.
No, you don't. You're doing great. Dream come true. What's your big dream right now? What are you dreaming of?
What? In the past, like something I have?
Nah, just right now.
Right now?
Yeah, and it could be anything.
Well, to win another World Cup, but
Another World Cup. You just had to win
the original
all.
one was to win a World Cup, so
Yeah.
that one is it's
Exactly.
kind of already.
Like, what do you do after that?
Well, win more, but
Yeah. I'd be like, I don't know, win the world record cheese eating contest or something. Favorite North Shore trail?
Ooh, John Deere.
Oh, unexpected. I like it. Why?
I always ride the shore on the trail bike, and I feel like that track with the trail bike, you just get locked into so many of those corners that I just love it. But I do need to ride some more stuff. I don't know many of the like really, really good, secret stuff. So
Yeah, fair.
if anyone wants to show me, let me know. My
Someone
dad does work
wants to
for
show
BC
you.
Parks though, so it's nowhere in the park.
Yeah. Well, Cypress only, but also not the park. Favorite Squamish trail right now?
Ooh, Double Trouble, the one I built.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm biased, but it's the best trail in Squamish, I think. So.
Fast. Most simple pleasure in life?
Riding a bike.
Aw, yeah. Something you wish people knew about you?
I feel like people know everything about me. I'm trying to think of things people don't know. Yeah. He asked me for my phone number earlier, and I said no. So
He did offer to show you the Lomers, though. All right.
you are 12, buddy.
That's awesome. Who do you still get starstruck over?
Ooh. That's a good one. I feel like a lot of like the racers still, like sometimes when I'm having conversations with Loic or Greg or Steve or Danny McCaskill even or Semenuk, all those top guys, I still look up to them. So I think I still,
Still
I
gets
get
ya.
butterflies sometimes.
Oh,
Especially
like hearing
Semenuk, because I don't know how to talk to him sometimes.
I don't know what you're talking about. Most embarrassing moment, friend. What's your most embarrassing moment?
Probably. Oh, this is a good one. A long time ago, I want to say I was probably 13 or 14. I tried to do a stoppie in the Whistler Bike Park, like coming out of the corners at the bottom, and there was a full corral, and I went over the bars, had a huge crash.
Oh,
that's probably the most
good.
embarrassing moment.
So good. I went over one of those berms and dislocated my shoulder and had to lay in the dirt for like 20 minutes
Yeah,
before my
that
friends
also
even noticed.
doesn't sound ideal.
That's so good. Whew, I feel less bad about that. Worst crash that wasn't hardline?
Whoa. That's a tough one. I had a crash in Maribor in one of my junior years where I came through a rock garden and then like kind of tucked the front and basically just like fully body checked a rock in like onto the ground. That was super sharp. I'd say that was probably one of my worst ones.
Do you remember the first time you ever got winded in a crash? Like where you're like,
Oh, that was a long time ago, so no.
Where do you go in your mind when you are told to go to your happy place?
Ooh. I don't even know.
You gotta work on that. You're
Yeah,
gonna
I
need
do
one
got
of
to work
those.
on that. Yeah. What is my happy place? I think, riding.
Yeah.
Riding Double Trouble. My trail.
Full circle. Classic question. Do you have any regrets? What's your biggest regret?
Oh, biggest regret. I don't even.
Some people don't have any.
Yeah, I don't think I've got any that are worth.
You can say
really
non-applicable.
mentioning.
NA.
Yeah.
Next
Let's
question.
go NA.
Those were all of our rapid fire questions, Jackson. You
There
have
we go.
passed. 100%. Awesome. All right, well, before we go to audience questions, we're just going to say thank you to our podcast listeners for tuning in. And Jackson, I truly can't thank you enough for making the time for this. This is really cool for everyone here. It's truly a privilege to host you at Steed Cycles. We're all cheering for you this year, nonstop, wishing the best season for you and for you, Ron and Miriam and Bailey, too. So thanks to everyone in the audience. Thanks to Jackson, and thanks for listening.
You.